All right, people. So I'm not an active watcher of SmackDown, but I couldn't help but notice that Don't Hinder Jinder Mahal actually won the belt at the pay per view yesterday. I mean, totally ridiculous. I mean, 2 months ago he was a total jobber who didn't win anything. I mean, this is a big problem with this company. I mean, they can't decide who they want to push. They can't decide who they want to make a jobber. And no, I'm not glad about it. And I'm going on here. Yeah, I mean they can't decide who's a jobber and who's a champion. I mean you can't take somebody who was just a jobber like 2 months ago and then 2 months later he's your champion. It just doesn't work like that. You have to, if you want to do that, you have to slowly build somebody up over time. I mean, he's not a believable champion. I mean, I have no idea what the fuck they saw. I mean, this guy's been a jobber in this company for like 10 years. I mean, he's been in this company for so damn long. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch any of the matches, so I can't comment on that. I mean, it's just so much to watch. Like, once they had that brand split a year ago, it's like now we have to watch like double the shit. They have double the pay per views. Yeah, 3-man band. I remember them like trotting around with. Remember they were trotting around with Hornswoggle and shit. I mean, that was just an embarrassment. And like, what did they see in this guy? The only thing I could think of, like, what changed with Jinder Mahal in the past 10 years that would make him push him and make him your champion? And the only answer to that is he got motherfucking veins because he took steroids. And we all know Vince McMahon, loves the guys who are on steroids. We all know that. I don't know. If it's just for India, I mean, I think that's kind of bullshit to just push somebody because they're from India and they want to make a big name in India. I mean, you could surely find a better guy to put in the championship than Jinder Mahal. I mean, yes, there's 300 million people in the United States, meaning there's a shit ton of people in Africa and India and China. But I really think the most people who watch this shit are American, and if you're going to pick an Indian guy to push, I mean, you could definitely find somebody better than Jinder Mahal, for God's sakes. I mean, I really think just Vince got really obsessed with this guy's muscles and shit like that, and this guy's so good, man. I think he got obsessed and decided to push this guy just because he has veins popping out of his body like a fucking freak. I mean, who the fuck has that shit? I don't know about the women's matches because, like I said, I didn't watch the pay-per-view. So, but speaking from the women's division on Raw, excuse me, I like Alexa Bliss. I mean, a lot of it is shit because I think it's not done right by the creative team. I think there's some talent on there. I really like Bliss though. She cuts a really good promo, which is very rare to see in the Divas division. I mean, Charlotte cut a decent promo, and I think Bliss does a good one too. But yeah, I mean, the Divas division has always been, shit. I mean, it's always been a joke, pretty much. I thought Charlotte was decent. I mean, you have talent on there, but like when you have a character like Bailey, who trots around hugging everybody, with those fucking blow-up things, which you would see at a 6-year-old's birthday party. I mean, that's when it becomes ridiculous, and that's how the creative team ruins this. At least Jinder will be on every week. Well, I mean, is that really a good thing? I mean, I was never a fan of Jinder Mahal. I never got what people saw in him. I mean, I really don't understand why they decided to push this guy. And yeah, he may have popularity in India, but I mean, does he have popularity, around the world? I really don't think so. I mean, if you look at a guy like Daniel Bryan, I think he was universally and internationally loved. Not Jinder Mahal. I mean, I'd probably prefer Raw to SmackDown or SmackDown to Raw because it's only 2 hours long. I don't watch SmackDown, so why does it matter when Jinder... It matters because... you might have logged on a little bit late here, but it matters because I was explaining that just 2 months ago, Jinder Mahal was like a jobber. And he's been a jobber for 10 years. And then all of a sudden, he's your champion. I mean, you can't do that. I mean, you just can't do that. And it's not only SmackDown is terrible, but I think all of WWE is terrible. I mean, the only reason I just watch Raw shit and not any of the SmackDown is one, I don't have too much time, and like Raw has always been like the flagship show, so I kind of got to tune into Raw. It's either Raw or SmackDown. I mean, I don't have the energy to watch both. I mean, 3 hours a week plus pay-per-views is already enough for me. I mean, it's like they expect us to watch all this shit. It's like we don't have any lives. I mean, I just got home from work. Yeah, they always talk about how great the fans are and thanking the fans for everything like that and sucking up to us. But then at the same time, they turn right around and push a guy like Roman Reigns right down our throats. I mean, it's like, on one end you're saying you care about us, then the other end you're just pushing guys who nobody likes like Roman Reigns. So, I mean, they just don't make any sense there. And that's why the ratings are going down the shitter. I mean, just totally down the shitter. I mean, this company, like, just the decisions they make. The guys who I mean, you got, on one end, you got Brock Lesnar as your champion on Raw, who's not even there. He hasn't been there for, like, over a month. I mean, how much of a disaster is that? And on the other end, you got Jinder Mahal as your champion, who, again, was a jobber 2 months ago. So, I mean, those are your two guys. I mean, look at the guys who have been champion. Goldberg and Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar and Jinder Mahal. I mean, just totally the wrong guys to put in the main event. Who part timers or people who nobody likes. Have I been to a WrestleMania? No, I have not been to a WrestleMania. I have not been to a live show of WWE ever. Maybe that's on my bucket list, but you watch the crowds at the show and they're just totally dead. I mean, when you look at the list of WWE champion, Jinder Mahal doesn't fit in because he's dangerous. Define dangerous. What do you mean by dangerous? I'm not sure I quite understand what I mean by dangerous. And like I said, I haven't been watching SmackDown, so it's hard for me to. I didn't watch the pay-per-view at all, but all I know is that putting a guy like Mahal into the championship, role just like that in the snap of a finger is just wrong. I mean, look at what they did with Daniel Bryan and how long it took him to win the championship. I mean, first he beat Cena, and then it took him like 6 months, and he went. It was a long journey for Daniel Bryan. He went through the Wyatt family shit, and they built him up, and when he finally won, it was really cool. Now, I disagree with how they put the belt on Orton, because I thought that was kind of boring with the authority in Orton. I disagreed, from the time from SummerSlam to WrestleMania. I disagreed with that storyline because it was boring. But I still thought it was great at WrestleMania to see him win because, they actually built him up right. Jinder has already concussed Finn Balor. The thing with injuries happen in wrestling, so, I mean, it's hard to attribute, it's hard to blame somebody for injuries. I mean, you see injuries all the time. It just happens. It's a violent sport with violence. I mean, you got to expect injuries. And it happens. I mean, nobody's perfect. I mean, a lot can go wrong in a wrestling ring. So yeah, but I mean, if there's any more comments or anything like that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. But I mean, I think I've gotten my point across over everything like that. He concussed Finn Balor and injured Roman Reigns. I mean, it happens. I mean, if you look at Seth Rollins, he's injured multiple people before. Do I think he's dangerous? No, I mean, it just happens. People get injured. It happens in wrestling. And like I said, I really can't blame somebody for injuring somebody. I mean, like I said, it happens. It happens, people. So like I said, that's pretty much all I have to say. I will be watching Raw tonight. So that'll probably be boring. It'll definitely be boring. So there you go, people. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and for the comments. So there you go, people.